because we want to figure this all out, not on the wedding day.
So who's gonna help make you absolutely stunning on your wedding day? Your makeup artist, that's who. In this video, we are meeting with fellow wedding industry creative, Christi, Rantis, Lally, all about what you need to know before you hire your makeup artist for your big day. Today we are at the House of Kukla studio, located in Glen Ellen, Illinois. To make things a little fun, Christi will be demonstrating her amazing skills right here on my totally natural face.
I have a couple ideas in mind, but is there anything specific you want to do with the makeup today?
No, I really was just wanting to let you do your own thing.
Perfect. I have such a beautiful canvas to work with. No allergies, skin sensitivities I should know about?
No.
Okay, do you wear contacts?
I do.
All right, perfect. Let's get started.
So where should a bride start when she's trying to find a makeup artist?
So with any vendor for your wedding, I would go based off of if you've been in a wedding before, did you have a great experience with some of the vendors that you witnessed on the day of? So if you were a bridesmaid maybe and you love the makeup artist for that day, or if you haven't had your makeup done before, I always say to check reviews, check with your friends who have been married, and go from there.
Those are great suggestions. It's so relaxing, honestly.
Yeah, good.
So how do you choose what products you use?
Well, it depends on the client and their skin type. We use really high quality products from many different lines, and we also use our own House of Kukla line. So depending on whether your skin gets more oily, shiny, if there's any sensitivities, we kind of curate the regimen for the day based on those factors.
So how soon before the wedding day should someone schedule their trial?
It depends. So if you are going with a company that you really want to lock down the date because you know that they book up quickly and you've used them before and you're familiar with their work, I would say lock down that date with them, reserve them, and then closer to the wedding, you can schedule the trial. If they are a new company that you're not familiar with and you're not really aware of anyone that's used them and the reviews, you're not sure, then you would want to schedule the trial before you lock them down for the day. But ideally, I like to do the trials closer because then you have the same skin tone, texture, hair length, the weather similar. So it really just depends, but as close as you can is what I prefer to do.
Also, I never thought about the weather being a factor, but it definitely is a factor for my skin.
Right, so if it's a winter wedding, we want to make sure that when you go outside, if there's redness, whatever, and then with the summer with humidity, that could really play a factor on the makeup and the hair. So it's really important for the makeup that it's as close as you can get weather-wise to the day of, and kind of book it earlier in the day so you can wear it throughout the day and then see how it photographs later on. The perfect date, in my opinion, is a dress fitting, because then you get the whole look, a little glimpse of it for the day of.
Oh, I love that idea.
If you're getting a lot of value out of this conversation with Christi, then hit the like button down below so we can keep bringing you more informative content for planning your wedding day. As a videographer who's worked closely with dozens of makeup artists, one thing I would highly recommend you take into consideration on the morning of your wedding day is where you'll be getting your makeup done. I know nothing about applying makeup, but I do know what looks good on camera. This is why I suggest the morning of your wedding day, you take a moment to find an area with the best natural lighting. This can be a bright and airy room at a home or a beautiful hotel room with windows. A perfect example actually is right here, House of Kukla. 80% of the light source in this room is coming from this one window. It'll give you a much better idea of what you'll actually look like in natural lighting. With the exception of this kind of softbox, which is too big and cumbersome for a makeup artist to be moving around on the wedding day, the next best light source is natural lighting. Not only will your makeup artist and stylist be able to see your face that much better as they're working their magic, but it'll also be much more aesthetically pleasing in your video and photos. With that said, let's get back to our conversation with Christi and Leanne.
So we have a video that talks about timeline planning, and I know it really stresses people out. So how much time should I plan for makeup on that day?
We usually recommend that the bride contacts their event coordinator and their photographer, because the completion time determines our start time. Once we have the information on what time they have to be completed, we then decide how many artists we'll bring, because we usually typically schedule about 45 minutes, an hour for the bride, and then we leave time at the end for finishing touches. So we want to make sure we can include all of that in the timeline, but really the photographer and the event coordinator are the best people to kind of determine how much time we have that day, and that determines how many people we bring, which then determines how long each service is.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle.
Yes. All right, and here you are.
Ooh, I love it.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. So now that I'm officially camera ready, let's dive right back into some questions that we have for today. So if it's my first time reaching out to you, what are some questions you would recommend that I ask?
I would definitely ask that first and foremost, the makeup artist is available to meet the details that you require for the day, whether it be timing, the location, the group number of people requesting the makeup. Some artists work solo, some have a team like we do, so you want to make sure that company can accommodate a party of your size. And then I would definitely ask to see reviews if you haven't, some of their work, whether it be their website, portfolio, Instagram, and then really I think it's important to know the booking process. So you might love their work and want to use them, but what is the booking process? Are there contracts? And go from there.
Yeah, and definitely make sure you're comfortable with all of that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, makes sense. So what homework would you recommend that people do before they show up for their trial?
So we actually reach out to our clients before the trial, kind of give them a list of things to bring with them. If they have accessories, a hair accessory, jewelry, their veil, pictures of inspiration, whether it be our portfolio, a Pinterest photo, a movie they loved where they really liked the makeup on someone. So we want you to have an idea of what you want to do. And then when you come in, we'll ask you a series of questions. What do your flowers look like? How do you envision yourself for the day? As long as we have a route to go based on the items you brought, the pictures you may have, we have kind of an idea of what to do, and then we get to know each other, play with the makeup, and we decide on a look together.
Nice, because there's a big difference between like natural and super glam.
Yes, and those terms are very subjective, I've learned. So what's natural to me might not be natural to someone else, and what's dramatic and very glamorous might be something totally different to someone else. So that's why the trial and a consultation is so important, because you learn that someone might not understand the terms and you can visually show them what you're talking about.
What about skin prep? I am no expert, but I have heard from more than one makeup artist that the way you prepare your skin is almost more important than the makeup itself. So tell me what you think about that.
So I'm really glad you asked that, because the true foundation to makeup is your skin. If we start with skin that is ready for makeup, there's not many flaws we have to worry about correcting the day of. That just makes everyone's job easier, and the makeup will look even better and set better. We are lucky because most of our makeup artists, including myself, are licensed estheticians. Yes, so we know a little bit about skincare, and we do ask a number of questions about that at the trial and ahead of time when we converse with our clients. We want to know what regimen you're using, and if we have any suggestions, we'll introduce those. And then really, very basic fundamentals: water, cleansing, exfoliating. Sleep is key. We can correct with makeup, but you don't want any dark circles and stress on your face. Sleep is really, really important. I even tell my brides, make sure your cell phone's always cleaned, your pillowcase. Really, you just want to make sure that you're keeping everything clean. Don't try anything new right before the wedding. I always tell my clients that. Don't go get like a new peel you've never done before. If you are going to start a new skincare regimen, whether it be introducing lasers, peels, anything like that, start that a year ahead of time, 6 months ahead of time for the wedding day.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about spray tans? I know a lot of people really like them, but I feel like that can affect your makeup. So what do you tell people to do about that?
It can. So we actually are really fortunate because we offer custom airbrush tanning. So our spray tans, we know exactly what's in them. We apply them. And so when someone does receive one for the wedding day, we're prepared for that when we show up. If you are not using a company that does them, or even if you are, there are really important factors to keep in mind. You want to schedule your spray tan, in my opinion, 2 days before the wedding, because God forbid something happened the next day. It would not be the wedding day. There's time to fix it, whatever that issue may be. You also want to do, and this is really, really important, a trial tan. Just like we do trial hair and makeup, do a trial tan. Especially if you've never had a tan before. I require that before I do it. I would never just tan someone the day for the wedding without having done one before.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yes, and we offer different types, so there's like different formulas and tones and things like that. But definitely do a trial tan. Definitely make sure ahead of time your makeup artist is aware you will have a tan.
Yes.
And then if they have any questions about that, they can can ask you before the day up.
So many times, really, it's the communication that's the key part, where it's not if you're going to do it or that you're going to do it. It's just that they need to know what your plans are so they can work with you on that.
Right. I actually ask ahead of time because I like to do a trial tan before the makeup trial. So that you can see the full look that based on the tan and make sure it works with the makeup and all of that.
Okay, I have one thing I'm curious about. What does House of Kukla mean?
So Kukla means beautiful doll in Greek. It's like a nickname for girls. And my sisters and I have two sisters, we started the company together. So it's a play on kind of like dollhouse. And it was just really, I didn't realize how many people are not Greek and didn't know what Kukla means, but I love it because people really care to ask and it kind of sets us apart.
Yeah, and it sounds really personal, which is
thank
really
you.
nice. I really hope that lots of people love the information that you shared today and want to get in touch with you. So how can they reach out to you?
They can visit our website, houseofkukla.com. They can email services@houseofkukla, or they can call us.
So before we get out of your hair, I just have one last question, and I just want to hear what you would say your best tip for someone looking to hire a makeup artist would be. What would you say to them?
I would say to do your research and choose a company ultimately based on their talent and experience. Do not choose a company based on the price because you get what you pay for, and we don't want to play around with our beautiful faces on the day of our wedding.
Let us know down in the comments below what the best piece of knowledge you took away from today's chat with Christi is. If you want to learn even more about planning your wedding, subscribe to Newlyweds TV right now. And as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.